Hi, you know who I am, astrologer Penny Dix. This video is basically for people on the islands of Malta and Gozo, and especially people in the Arb and San Lorenz area. My cat George has gone missing, and I'm trying to reach out to as many people as possible to be on the lookout for George and to let me know either via this video, via my website, via Facebook. This video will be on Facebook. Check your garages, check your outbuildings, check anywhere. So I'll tell you the brief story and history of George just to put it into context and why I'm so devastated. George's first mummy was not able to keep him. The reasons are not relevant to the story, but she was not able to keep him. And so I said, I will give George a home. I already have 4 cats. And my other ginger one did not take kindly to this new male cat coming in, George, also a ginger, and has for a year made George's life uncomfortable. And so I made the difficult decision to see if I could rehome him. And Jerry, who, as you know, is my lovely technical genius who uploads all my videos, fell in love with George when he has been here and met him and said, I will give him a home. And so it felt right and we organised it. And on Saturday morning, which was the 5th of October, Jerry came over with his son Paul, and we managed to get George into a carry box, and George went with my blessing. My friend Sarah was here as well, helping, and George went to Arb. I live in Arla, just to put it in context. Arb is about 4 miles away. So, next part of the story. The day goes by, that's it. Next morning, I get a message from Jerry. George is missing. Well, first of all, I thought, okay, be calm. How did this happen? How has he got out? It appears he has managed to open a shut and locked aluminium window and a fly screen, and hence, as it was a ground floor room, make his escape. And it's a courtyard that he went into with trees and high walls, but they would prove no challenge to this amazingly athletic cat, who's about 7 years old, white tip on the tail, who had had an amazing life in his first home in San Lorenz, and I think was quite traumatized by having to leave that part of his life where he was an outdoor cat and where he was able to do what he wanted and climb all over things and jump from roof to roof. He couldn't do that here. But he never tried to break out of here, ever. And I loved him. I love him dearly. And he loved me. But Jerry offered to give him a home, and it seemed like the perfect solution. So, my friend Sarah and I went over to Jerry's house yesterday in Arb, and we sat and planned and looked, and Sarah went round with Jerry's son Paul, and they looked in the fields, they called his name, because I thought if I call him from there, he would recognise my voice and might come. But I think he would be too frightened to actually come if I was there. But I'm hoping that maybe because he could hear me, that he might think, Mummy's close, so that's okay. Anyway, why I'm doing this video is I want everyone to be as vigilant as possible who lives on Gozo and Malta. Cats are clever. They do all sorts of things. and check your outhouses, garages. If you've got windows open, check inside these rooms, because George can get into small places. He might be asleep in a cupboard. He loves dark places. He loves being up high. He is a clever, canny cat. So my feeling is there's also a Japanese practice. The Japanese love cats. And they even have an island which is dedicated solely to cats, full of cats. And before I complete that story, just to tell you, I have put a litter tray on my balcony here in Arla, because they can smell their own litter trays from many, many miles and kilometers. And they can pick up the vibrations through the geocentric energies of the earth to the place where they want to be. So it may not be a surprise if he turned up here in Arla 4 to 5 miles away at some point. I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I have to have hope. In the meantime, the latest news is that a cat had definitely been in Jerry's courtyard between 3 a.m. this morning and about 7 a.m. and eaten some biscuits and looked around the litter tray and disturbed it but not used it. That, I'm hoping, was George, meaning he's close by. All I want is for George to be safe, found, and in the home that he chooses. If it's trees and fields, I respect that. If it's with Jerry, I respect that. If George wants to come home to me, I respect that. So I say all these things because I just want to respect the cat. But back to the Japanese story before I finish. In Japan, when a cat goes missing, and apparently it has an amazingly high percentage of success rate on cats returning, what they do is they talk to other cats, other people's cats, stray cats, and they say, "This is the cat, George. He is missing. Please could you put it out on the Intercat network and ask this cat to come home, or let us find out or know in some way that he is safe. I just want to know he's okay, and to know that I miss him desperately." And before I bring this video to a close, it's not monetized. That would not be appropriate. And everyone in America, all my subscribers over there, in the Far East, in the Australias, you can join in with this as well, because just send the intent, "George, please let us know where you are and that you're okay." And if anyone has any intuitive thoughts or feelings about whether George, or when George, we will get news of him, please let me know. The astrology is a bit inconclusive, a bit confusing. So, and also I'm finding it difficult to read the astrology for something that is so dear to my heart. So that's hard. So I didn't have much sleep and rest yesterday. So I'm going to do one astrobite for tomorrow. I'm also going to do a schedule of what is going to be done and how I'm going to proceed forward with the channel. And anyway, I'll talk about that in another video. In the meantime, this is about George. Please, please, please send out those telepathic messages via cats to let George let us know what he wants to do, where he wants to be, and where he's happiest. Thank you so much for giving your time to listen. And If you want to get in touch with me, you can via my website, pennydix.com. The email is penny@pennydix.com. And you can get in touch with me via Facebook Messenger. Even if you're not a friend of mine on Facebook, it's just Penny Dix, D-I-X. And let's bring George home, to the home of his choice. George, if you happen to be hearing this or watching this, I love you. Please stay safe. Thank you, guys.